So yesterday, I was doing a Zoom coaching call with a beautiful woman that I've been working with since last October, November, and she is in the UK. Names have been changed in this story to keep my clients' privacy at the forefront of my attention and everything. But we're gonna call her Claudia. Okay, so Claudia in the UK, I've been working with her, like I said, since October, November of last year. And she is a young woman in her mid 30s. She is successful in life. She, has an amazing career. She has traveled the world. She has been in some really rough, rocky relationships. And she's coming to a point in her life where Claudia just wants to settle down. She's experienced a lot of life. She feels that she has a massive, understanding of this thing called life. And she's just ready to sit down and get to know somebody for a long period of time and to really just build a life story with somebody. But due to her culture, she has realized that she has a lot of belief structures that are preventing her from this life partner that, get this, she also loves. Yes, Claudia's background, the way she grew up, what she was taught was not to marry, not to unite with another because of how she felt about the person, that love, but she was taught to find a good husband that could protect and provide and not to worry about her heart. So that's a big challenge. Now she's spent all these since her, late teens to mid 30s looking for love though. And she's fallen into the hands of some men that said that they loved her, said that they wanted to settle down and have a family and build a life and be teammates, that they had her back. They were only interested in her. They saw a plan. They saw a future. And she's done this a couple times where, she really went in, and she went in deep because these guys, they checked all the boxes, in her words. They checked all the boxes, only to find out that 2, 3, 4 years down the road, they wanted nothing to do with what they said that they wanted in the first place, which was to settle down, to have a family, to create a life story, a love story together. And what ended up happening in multiple instances for Claudia was that these guys ended up cheating on her. They ended up, wanting to go explore and check out the other grounds and see what was better out there, which happens to be a really big event, especially in today's world, because of our swipe left society, because of our shiny new relationship ideas, and that we know that we can always find something shinier, prettier, funnier, more successful, more connected, more chemistry there, more. I'm an advocate of no dating sites. Meet people organically, because guess what dating sites are for? Making money for dating sites. That's what dating sites are for. Dating sites are not there to help you find the one, FYI. Dating sites are there to keep you coming back. They want you to spend money. They want you to spend time on their platform. That's why there's games. That's why there's gambling. That's why there's all these different things on dating sites. It's to keep us engaged on the dating site, not to help us find our significant other, our soulmate, but to help us stay single and engaged and making that company money. So think about that the next time you're over there on whatever you're choosing, Match or OkCupid or you name it. Realize that the reason why you're getting all these matches on there and saying, hey, yeah, we know that you just went out on 3 dates with so-and-so and you're really enjoying it, but hey, this guy right here, look at him, he's really great looking, right? Yeah, so keep that in mind. But we kind of strayed a little bit off topic there. Back to Claudia in the UK with her heartbreak and her cheating exes. Well, the cheating exes, that's exactly what happened with the cheating exes, right? They thought, oh, well, I can get something better, right? A better model. And Claudia's been great for the last 2, 3, 4 years, whatever it was. But yeah, I think I can do better. And it would be more fun. And a lot of the times also what was going on that I've noticed while talking with Claudia on this subject is that she has a knack for finding men that are not ready. Just simply not ready for a relationship, a true commitment, loyalty, and building trust, and building that relationship container, the entity of us. We're going to stray just a little bit here, but I think one of the biggest things, the biggest challenges that I work with couples is this idea that we find the one, we get into the relationship, we move in together, we start building a life together, and we do whatever it takes to get that person, right? To attract that person. So we put our very best out there. We are really polite. We're really funny. We're really romantic. We look good, right? So we're presenting our best package. And then fast forward 1, 2, 3 years down the road, and all of a sudden the real us comes out. The real them comes out. And we somehow believe that we don't have to work as hard, or we shouldn't have to work as hard. After all, we sealed the deal. We're living together. We have a ring on the finger. We're engaged. We're married. We have a kid. Whatever that tale is, right? So we just don't have to work as hard. And I wish I had brought my button out here right now, because Craig and I have this screaming goat button for an exercise that I've taught for years called the pause button. So when things start to get heated and you find yourself going down a rabbit hole and you're no longer on point, to hit that pause button, and it's this obnoxious but funny as heck, get straight through the reticular screaming goat button. Guys, I think I should start doing live streams with my screaming goat button, because what I want to do here is hit that screaming goat button. Why do I hit the screaming goat button in this one? Because nothing's further from the truth. Absolutely nothing is further from the truth than when we get into the relationship, when we seal the deal, when we are really committed, that we can just start taking the easy street and not work at it as much. The reverse is actually true. Okay, guys and ladies, people, followers, channel. The reverse is actually true. We have to work harder at it, because the shiny new object is no longer there. It's familiarity, it's comfort, it's a believing that we know each other, and that's not accurate either. We never know anyone, okay? We never really truly know somebody else. We have ideas, concepts around another person, but we don't really know what's going on in here or in here at any given time with somebody else. So in order for us to stay aligned with somebody, we have to actively, constantly be engaged and working on that relationship. Okay. So back to Claudia in the UK, right? So she has the knack for finding guys that just aren't ready. And the reality is that they're not ready to engage at that level of commitment that I just spoke of, right? So they're not ready, they're not able, they're not willing, they're not wanting to do the work of keeping a hot, thriving, happy, successful relationship, right? Because intimacy requires attention, maintenance. We are all high maintenance human beings in this department, okay? Much like we're high maintenance human beings in the world of our well-being of our mind and body health. Okay, there's high maintenance that goes in there if you want to thrive in health as well. Well, the health of your relationship is no different than the health of your physical body state, or your mental body state, or your emotional body state. These things require maintenance, require work, require effort, energy, time, and money, all invested into them. Okay, so back to Claudia. So what's happened with Claudia? Claudia, over the course of time, like when I met her back in October, November of last year, and we started coaching, she was falling apart at the seams in a lot of different ways. She was questioning herself, her sanity, how wrong she was, if she was good enough, if she was too much, what was going on in her world. Why could she not find a good person, or what was so broken with her that attracted her to these people or made her not good enough for a good person, right? And I think that is probably a very common belief structure that many of us walk through life with when we think about our intimate relationships, for sure. The whole idea of being too much and not enough, right? The fear of rejection, and then how that shuts us down and causes fear inside of us, so that we try to become something that we're not, in order to not be rejected by the one that we so desperately want to be with. And the reality is that if we just are ourselves, authentically, truthfully, show up as us, then our true radiance and beauty can come out, and we can actually draw in our soulmate, right? Which is the answer to what Claudia and I are now working on, and what we all really need to do if we're looking for somebody, right? So what's happened with Claudia is that she went through this phase of not knowing and not trusting herself. And then that moved her into a shut down, closed-hearted, hardened phase where she was guarding her heart, and we do need to guard our hearts, because this is where everything comes from for us human beings, right? We are all emotional creatures, and we experience life through emotion, and we act out life through how we're perceiving from our emotion, right? Now, to be mature and emotionally mature allows us to be proactive in that, and to pause, to slow down, and to start to try to bring a little bit of logical thought in there, and to see if we can see the bigger picture at any given time, not just to be reactive and act from that high emotional state, right? That's a different topic for a different day. But back to, like, we really are these emotional people, and what ends up happening, and what I see massively across the board in relationship of today, or the hunt for relationship of today, is a society that is so desperately desiring connection and love, and to be told that they are worthy, and have validation of the self from somebody that matters, their person, right? To be validated at that level, and then to just know, I'm good enough the way I am. Like, we want to be accepted for who we are, right? I mean, that's massive political topic there, right? World topic, global, is I just want to be accepted for who I am on all these different levels. And yet, with that happening globally right now, we are the most disconnected, most judgmental, most critical, absolutely, and I don't use this word lightly, I don't like this next word, hateful society as well. And that hardens our hearts. That makes us so much weaker because we no longer are connected to what we need to be connected to. And that is our truth, our heart. And if you believe in God or universe, the creator, source, whatever word choice you want to use there, this is the wellspring. This is the connective piece that connects us there too energetically. It is our hearts that we are supposed to move and act and speak from. And you know what? It's also our hearts that we're supposed to choose our significant other with. Otherwise it's just a contract and we're all prostitutes, right? We're all selling ourselves for the highest bidder, and it has nothing to do with the growth of the person, the people, the relationship, or the emotion that we feel for somebody else, right? So here we have Claudia, and she went through a phase, through the holidays, into the new year, with a hardened heart. And she was distant from life in a lot of ways, focused on what she was focused on, her health, her work, her career, right? Some friends. But she was sad. Sad because she couldn't feel her heart. And I've been there before, where I used to make jokes about, like, I think I'm a vampire. I don't think I have a heart anymore. I can't feel my heartbeat. I can't feel my heart. I can't feel my emotions. I feel meh at best. And that's where she was at. She was feeling meh at best. And then what happened with beautiful Claudia in the UK? Wow. And she is beautiful. All you single guys out there are missing the boat, because Claudia in the UK is gorgeous. But she met a guy. And you know what Claudia did? She told him everything that she was feeling from this closed heart space. I'm not really interested in a relationship. We can just have a playful, meet up, be buddies, right? For a moment in time. We'll just see what we see. There's not anything there. And what does the universe provide Claudia? A gentleman who says, I want a teammate. I want a partner. I want to build a life. I want kids. I want somebody by my side, rock solid by my side. I'll move countries to be closer to you, because I think that you are her. I think you're amazing. And Claudia went, whoa. Now granted, that's a smart decision there. Okay? We don't just jump into the pool and say, yes, let's get married in that situation. Absolutely not. Guy is moving a little bit fast. Just a little bit fast. So if you're one of those guys that like to move that fast, slow down. And when I talked to Claudia the other day, she says, remember a few sessions ago when you told me not to fall in love for the next 2 years? Because I did. I said, you're not allowed to fall in love for 2 years. And I said, yeah. And she's like, I have all these feelings. But I don't know what's right. Because these feelings are going against what I've been taught to look for in a good partner. These feelings are going against everything. And I'm scared. I'm scared that I'm going to make the same mistake again. And that I'm going to get with somebody because he makes me laugh. Because we have really great conversations. We seem to be able to really talk openly. He seems very truthful. I'm scared that I'm going to get into this relationship and and open my heart up and love again, only to be hurt somewhere down the road, cheated on, left in the dust. You know, Claudia's right. Those are all scary things. Claudia is extremely right. Those are terrifying things, and I don't want her to make those mistakes again. And I don't want that for her. Nobody wants that for Claudia, right? You probably don't want that for Claudia, just hearing her story. But how is she ever going to know? And as I told her in our session, I said, you know, much like many things in this life, there's no guarantees in relationship. There's no guarantees in love. We don't know somebody else. And safety, security in relationship, it's a nice concept. It's something that we crave, we want for, we think that we should have. But do you know what it is? Safety, security, and even trust, especially on the front side of a relationship, until it's done its time, and even then, like, I'm working with people that have been married for 35, 40 years, and this stuff goes boom, right? And it's just, they find out they don't know their partner, and they're in the midst of separation and divorce, and they find out that all this stuff has been going on. And it's just like, wow, a complete altering of the world. But on the front side, we want to have trust. We want to have security and safety in a relationship. We want to be able to lean in, and we think that we need these things to lean in. We think that we should have some sort of evidence of them appear to us so that we can, and then we can go from there. And I can tell you that that's all fine, awesome, wonderful. Keep believing it. That's great. But the only thing that will ever give you those things is time and consistency with that other person, and conversations, deep conversations. This isn't a, hey, how was your day? My favorite color is green. I love Greek food moment. Okay? That's not a deep conversation. Those are surface level. Those are avoidance conversations. We need to go into relationship with deeper conversations, which, if anybody ever wants to know some great conversation starters for those first 5 dates out there, like, how do you get through the thick of all the junk on our dating scene these days and know that somebody is legit, real, and aligned to you? Feel free to reach out to me. I've got you covered, okay? I happen to have just some, maybe like 24 years experience in this department. But we have to have those deeper conversations. We have to really show up with the other person, and we have to make time. Did you know that it takes about 200 hours face-to-face time, and not even like this, where you're seeing somebody on video, you're doing a Zoom, you're doing FaceTime. No, not like that. I'm talking in the same room, breathing the same air, FaceTime. 200-ish hours just for that very first veil of presentation to fall down. That's a lot of hours. I mean, do the math. If you are a typical dater out there, and you are seeing you're out there on the dating, gamut, and you are looking for your significant other, and so you are dating somebody at the beginning once a week, and let's say you spend 2, maybe 3 hours with this person, right? 3 hours a week. How many weeks? I suck at math, so you're gonna have to do it on your own. But 3 hours a week into 200. Yeah, that's a few weeks, right? Before you actually see the first veil drop on that person, so that you can actually see who they are just a little bit more. Because you know what dating is? It's a vetting process for relationships. And do you know what relationships are? They're a vetting process for partnership. So just because you're in a relationship doesn't mean that you're with the one or that it's locked in or solid. No, are you in a partnership? Have you made those lifelong plans? Are you so knitted in with this person that you can barely tell yourselves apart? Is your commitment level so strong you just know it? Yeah. For the majority of people, no, not so much. There's a lot of people that are in relationship and they relationship hop, and there's a lot of people that are dating. There's a lot of people that are dating that think that they're in a relationship because they've said, oh, I'm exclusive, oh, I'm monogamous, oh, we're sold on dating each other. Well, I can tell you that the dating process is a fun, beautiful process. I love dating. Dating's great, right? It's fun, but unless you date right and know some of the little secrets to getting through that veil of the other person quicker and knowing the conversations to have, then you're going to spend the next year or two, which is why it takes approximately, that's why we have this newlywed phase of any relationship. And as that new relationship energy starts to die down, our mask starts to come off, right? And that's what you have to break through. And there's ways that you can do it quickly so that you can speed up that 200 hours. It's still going to be about 200 hours, but guess what? Yeah, you got to do the time. And would you rather spend 200 hours over the next 6 months waiting for that initial veil to drop? Or would you like to get it done in 45 days, right? And then here's the next kicker on that one. Guess what? It takes about 400 hours for that next veil to drop down. Approximately, there's about 3 veils that we have to go through before we actually are dealing with a real live human being that you're thinking about doing life with. Yeah, it's a lot of hours that we can carry these masks, right? So back to Claudia. Yeah, I'm glad she's not jumping down the altar with this gentleman, as great as he appears and sounds. Thank God that she's like, whoa, slow the ponies down just a little bit here, right? And she wants to get to know him. Now she's working with me, so she's got her questions. She's got her internal work, the work that she's working on to become a stronger, better person, to trust herself, to be able to trust her judgment, because she's been so hardened in the heart that she doesn't know what she feels or what she thinks or anything about anything at this point in time. And she certainly doesn't trust relationship or herself being able to choose a good relationship, right? So we're doing that work with her. But for you, what can you do? Well, it comes back to intimacy building. It comes back to those conversations. It comes back to asking yourself a couple really, really clear questions. And I'm going to give those to you. And I would love to see your response. If you made it this far into this live stream, I would love to see your response for these questions in the comments. If you don't feel comfortable posting them publicly, send them to me in a private message. I would love to see and be able to, give you a few little pointers. Okay? So don't hesitate to send that, to share that, to put that out there. But as always, if you can post it publicly, then guess what? You're probably going to touch somebody else, and all of our stories matter. Okay, I can tell you that our stories matter. They impact other human beings, and if we can just have that small little ripple on somebody out there in the world, then we're making a difference. We're potentially making this a better world for our children and our children's children, and hey, even for us, right? Let's be a little bit selfish there. Okay, so here's the questions. The first question is, it's not really a question. It's something I want you to ponder, to journal on, and see if you can clarify for yourself. And that is, define what relationship success means to you. What does relationship success mean to you? Okay? To really just define that. And I want you to sit with that, because, a lot of the times people will come up with some really quick answers on that, and a lot of that can lead to in one direction. I'm not going to speak it because I don't want to give it to you, but I can tell you that if I had my screaming goat button right now, that the obvious answer that most people give, I'd hit the goat button over so that it would scream because no, wrong answer. Okay, I want you to go deeper. I want you to see if you can get to what true success is in relationship. Okay? Because if you can answer that, it's going to completely change the paradigm that you're living in and how you view relationship and what a true partner is supposed to provide and what you're supposed to provide and what you're striving for versus what you've been taught. Okay? And then the next question that I would like for you to ask of yourself and share if you feel like it. Is what I am wanting and willing to provide to a potential life partner what I am also requesting from a potential life partner? I'm going to leave this on this note because I've already gone way over what I anticipated for a first time exposure out here. Is forever. It's been like 18 months since I've done any live streams or any free little training videos and stuff. So I'm trying to get back into it and everything. I've been busy building an art gallery and being a mom and traveling and spending time with my soulmate. But yeah, shoot, where was I? Anybody on there that can tell me where I was at? Around the what you're wanting and willing to give. It comes back to matching. And a big thing that we tend to forget when we are wanting to call in the one, or we are questioning the one that we're with, if they are actually the one, right? Is we don't understand what compatibility really is. We get stuck on the sizzle, the heat. We get stuck on actually what lust, right? Not love, but lust, because we're just so chemically bonded to this other person and attracted to them that we just want to be with them. And we think they're, those rose tinted glasses, right? They do us some good work some days. Other days are like, rose tinted glasses came off and there's the real human being. Which brings back to, all those deep conversations. Well, why are we having those deep conversations? We're having those deep conversations to find out if we are aligned with this other person, right? Because that's where compatibility comes in, all right? And a lot of compatibility comes with emotional maturity. Is this other person emotionally mature enough? Do they match us there? Are we both just a couple big babies that are crying about our pasts and our exes and like all that stuff, and the world's out to get us? Can we stop and listen more than we speak to our partner a little bit? Can they do the same thing for us? Are we aligned on our values, our core values and beliefs? Don't have to be aligned on everything. There's a lot of values out there to have, and there's different things, that can fall underneath values, but some of them rank a little bit less. What are those like top 4 to 6 core values of yours? The ones that really are game changers. And then that's where you need to find out if that other person is aligned there. And then another big one is life blendability. In this world of ours, and we're going to go back to all the dating sites out there. I was working with another really quick client story, and then I'm going to let you go. I was working with a gentleman a couple years ago, and he had been in a long-term relationship, and they broke up. We're talking about like a decade long. And then he decided that he was going to go and jump on some dating sites, and he wanted to find his wife because his ex just did not really want that yet, even though she said she did. Anyways, long story there. I'll probably share that another day. So he decided to jump on a whole bunch of dating sites. And we got his profile put together and got his pictures, and I did this whole audit for him on that and made everything like one of the best guys profiles out there. Yes, so proud of him. Looked really, really sharp. It really spoke who he was as a man and what his goals were. He definitely, was polarizing in different ways that needed to happen so that he could become aligned to somebody else. But alas, every little good tale has to have some little bloop of uh-oh in there, right? And his uh-oh was, he's kept finding women that were 50 to 150 miles away, and sometimes even in a different state. And what did that do? That made it where they talked on the phone, they texted, they FaceTimed with our little devices here. And then when he actually went and flew someplace or drove someplace, he found himself really quite upset, disappointed with whom was greeting him at the door. And here's the thing. That's not a life blendability thing. How are you ever going to get through those 200 initial hours, those 400 next initial hours, the next 200 hours? How are you going to build a life with somebody who lives, more than 2 hours away from you? Unless you are a multi-millionaire that doesn't mind just flying all over and flying people over, which that's great. But even then, there are lives happening at such great distances, and you have to really look at life blendability. It's not bad if you have to drive an hour away. My guy and I, we would not be together today if he had a problem driving the 55 minutes to me that he did like 3-4 times a week at the beginning of our relationship. And I love the fact that he drove that hour to come and have coffee with me, to take a hike with me. But you know what? I also drove to him, and there was a coming together in that because we were almost an hour apart. But I can tell you that long distance makes it harder. It doesn't make it impossible. It makes it harder. Okay? That's cats fighting upstairs. Hold on. Let me go throw a pillow. On that note, if anybody wants a 16-pound white cat named Angel who's not so angelic, she's really sweet. Really, she is. She's sweet, except with other cats. She's not sweet at all. And we have another cat. We have 3 cats, and one cat, he's fine, but the 2 girls, they go at each other, and it's always Angel. She is the one who just instigates. All right, so so long distance relationships. It doesn't mean that it can't work. It just means that it makes it really difficult. So you have to ask yourself, what is your commitment to finding your ideal soulmate, your person? What is that commitment? How much time, energy, and financial resources and truth do you have to give to this process of calling in the one? Because if you are looking outside of a 2-hour, and I say 2 hours because I think that anybody can legitimately drive 2 hours, a couple times a week. A lot of people do that just in their commute, especially around here in the Dallas area. Everybody's moving way out and they're still working in Dallas, right? So they're spending that time on the road anyways. So you could probably make it work with a 2-hour commute to somebody. But I think that anything else is really pushing it, unless you're doing some meet in the middle and everything like that, which a lot of people can do. But I cannot emphasize the importance of life blendability here, okay? And the core values and knowing your parameter in multiple ways, including distance, as to what is workable for where you're at, what you're wanting, and really finding that person. So, quick point. I think my point on the title was, like how hard and heart, and what you can do anyways. And back to Claudia in the UK, she's learning how to open up. She's treading water lightly on that. It's a beautiful process to watch for sure as she explores this new gentleman. And they do this dance of getting to know each other. But I can tell you that if she opted, when I spoke to her last week, to remain so closed, and after our conversation, I could tell that this weight had lifted off of her, and she was giving herself permission now to love again, and to know that love mattered. And as I told her, I said, you can have the life story and the love story with the same person. You can have it all. Any of us can have it all. We have to make a decision, though, as to what that looks like, and how we're willing to show up, and the work that we're going to put into it. Because here's the thing, we can love a lot of people. We can have many, many amazing love stories. I've had a few, and those love stories, they're going to forever be cherished. They altered me. They grew me. They broke me. And I healed from them. And I'm in gratitude for them. And that's what a beautiful love story is. We can have those love stories where they're just, a sizzling hot weekend, a sizzling hot summer, or in my case, it was a sizzling hot 7 years. Okay, so we can have those amazing fairy tale love stories. But it doesn't mean that person that we're having that love story with is our life story. Because life stories, they are a component more, or 10 components more. They take us deeper. In those life stories, not only do we see so many different things about the world, but we travel into our darkest shadowlands in our life stories. We witness parts of ourselves that we didn't even know were there often, because the right life story is going to pull all of our shadow up. It is going to make us see our inner demons and our brilliance as well. We're going to be blessed with all of it. But if we want to have the love and the life, then that means that we're not just getting with somebody for security, okay? Or looks, lifestyle. We're getting with them because the safety comes from here. The safety comes from that we are both entering the relationship with emotional maturity and a commitment to self and a commitment to the entity of us, to build on all of that and to support each other in authentic truth with each other, conversation, communication, and always with the intent and the idea that we have what are the best intention for each other, which also means the best intention for the relationship, right? And that we're not entering in trying to view, I'm right, you're wrong. There you go. End of story. Because that's what happens in a relationship. I'm right, you're wrong. How are we ever going to grow? How are we ever going to connect? How are we ever going to heal? And is that truly love if we are coming from a space of I'm right, you're wrong? No. A good life story and a good love story, when they come together, it is us against the world. It is I got your back, you got mine, even when we're not seeing eye to eye, which is going to be frequent, right? Because we're different human beings. But I'm still going to stand here in love and hold space and hear you and support you. Support you. And that's what makes the love story. And you know what? When people do the work, you might say, yeah, but what about the chemistry? What about the hot, sizzling, sexy nights? What about the dates and the courting and the bubble? That's all part of the work. Okay? There you go. Courting, romance equals work. Must do work to maintain a thriving, happy, successful relationship that is based in love and trust and safety, is based on the work. Okay. So I'm going to try to do one of these videos 2 or 3 times a week is what my commitment level to you is. I started to do a conversations, kind of like my old conscious coffee that I was doing for years, and I kind of played with that, and in all honesty, I didn't like the energy that I was putting out a couple weeks ago on that particular live stream. It just didn't align with what I was wanting to be, do, show up, and it just didn't feel good. Didn't feel good. So I am probably going to play around with that a little bit. And I thought to myself just the other day, I was like, you know what? F it. I'm just going to pull back conscious coffee, because that is my baby. That is my heart and soul. And I like having a conscious coffee with people. So don't be shocked if you see conscious coffee just popping back up and everything. If you are not, if you have not liked or followed my business page, please do so. I will put a link in the comments here to my business page, okay? You can also find me all over the place these days on Your Tango, on Good Men's Project, on Medium, and, oh shoot, hold on. Because I created this the other day, yesterday, I was posting something, and this just kind of came up from my heart, from my spirit. So, I'm going to be announcing a new program here, and if you want to get on the Access Early list, please put a comment in down below or DM me on it, okay? And the title of this whole new program is going to be Done For You Intimacy Builder. So this is going to be a 4-week program. It is going to be taught with PDF downloads and video trainings in a Facebook group on my business page. Okay, so make sure that you like my business page, and then if you want to participate in this, make sure that you let me know that you want to, so that I can get you on the Access Early list for that, because this is going to be 4 intensive weeks of focusing on intimacy building, where I'm going to do all the work for you. And now you think, maybe possibly you're thinking, well, that sounds like it's just for couples. Now, intimacy starts with the self, and we have to learn how to develop intimacy in all of our relationships, so that we can develop intimacy with our significant other. And if we want to call in somebody else, guess what? The very first step, that's that 200 hours on the front side. You got to learn how to be intimate from the starting gate. So why not get those skills now if you're single and looking? And if you are coupled, we'll get those skills and start right now with your partner. And if your partner doesn't want to participate, fine. Because you know what? There's so many things that we can do ourselves that will completely transform a relationship. And when we start showing up differently in our relationship, and when we start treating our partners differently, guess what happens? They react differently. So, Done For You Intimacy Builder. 4 weeks of intensive training. Facebook live group. Okay. Let me know if you're interested. Okay. Pop me a message. Put it in the comments. Look for it. It will be coming out soon. I've also got some local workshops that are going to be popping up. So, or if you are one of my local people, I've been going, hey, where's KW's workshops? You know, all the stuff that she used to do. Yeah, well, I took some time off. Okay. And I'm back. So, yeah, so there's going to be lots of stuff popping out over the course of summer here. And if you'd like to know, you know, get a little bit curious, go ahead, reach out to me. Let me know that you're alive. Like I've just let you know that I'm alive on this live. Okay. And I will catch you next time with another topic, perhaps another story. If there is something that you would like for me to do a live stream training on, one of these free trainings, please let me know that. I want to give to you what you want to learn about, what you want to explore. You have a question, you have a concern, you have a fear. It's about, just remember, Well, if it's about love or sex or relationship or intimacy, parenting, I have 7 kids, right? I've been through a few things. Open relationships, kink, fetish, you name it, okay? Hello, I got you covered on so much. And oh, even if it's a health topic, because you know what? There's a lot of health stuff and that plays a role in our libido and in our relating and ability to connect with others. And I would love to do some topics on that. So if you have something that you would like to learn more about, or you would like for me to just share a little bit of, my take on it or experience, maybe a client story, I don't know. Don't hesitate. Reach out to me. I live on that stuff and I love helping you guys. Okay? So I will talk to you soon and I will be back on here in a couple days. As always, stop existing. Start living your life because you're worthy. You're worthy of abundance. You're worthy of love. You're worthy of joy. And you're not too much. You are perfect. I love you guys and I will catch you later this week.